hitting versus learning about yourself. Right? Just like we know that we can't control anyone else, we can only learn to control our own bodies. You know, trying to think you're going to control someone else by like tapping them in contact flow is kind of bullshit, right? So if Josh is hitting me legitimately, I need to be moving my whole body with it. I cannot be doing this. Okay? Remember, everything that we're trying to do in contact flow should be whole body motion, body unity, right? Boom. Why is that? Just because we just did it. If he were to attack me, right? Boom, bam. Think that will stop him? Come again. Boom, boom. I got you. He doesn't give a shit. No, it's like, you know, he's coming, and this happened in contact flow, right? Bad. Do you think he gives a shit? Even if I got his eye, I wasn't penetrating enough to really do anything except piss him off. Maybe he'll only have one eye to see me, but it doesn't matter. He already has a hold of me, right? So that's not the kind of stuff we're going for. So when we're doing contact flow, stuff like this is really meaningless. What we want is, as I'm flowing to be unavailable to him, notice everything that's happening to him involves my entire skeleton penetrating through him, and what he does to me likewise should be the same. That's why I need to get out of the way of it, right? So try in your contact flow to have that, A, do nasty shit to people. Okay, no, seriously. The idea here is, if anyone attacks you, brief training philosophy, in guided chaos, we always train for the worst case scenario on the assumption that if something less threatening happens, it's much easier to dial back and be appropriate to the situation versus if we constantly like train for low levels of threat, all of a sudden he decides to kill us, it's harder to ramp up, right? So all of our training is, we're assuming as we're flowing that we're dealing with fucking worst case scenarios, so it's perfectly legit to send his head forward while I crush his throat or try to break his neck here. No guarantee it'll happen, but it won't feel good to him. Yep. So, well, you know, whatever it's going to be, we're training to do nasty shit. If he's like already on top of me, I'm training to squeeze his nuts, bring this up here, bust his mouth. Ooh, right? Yeah. Okay, good. No, you don't want to. Oh, okay. Was that idiot? So, was that a joke? No, I'm sure it's okay. No. So basically, make sure in your contact flow, don't get distracted again by this stuff. It doesn't matter who's hitting, who's being hit. We're training to learn about efficient motion with the whole skeleton and to move with it, whatever it may be. Again, no difference between hitting versus being hit. Okay? No difference between grappling and striking. No difference what angle he's at. Okay?
Oh, I was trying to penetrate through here.
Yeah, but you're using your arm muscles.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm looking. And if it takes that much effort, do you think you should be doing it?
This becomes another question about how much to show the drop, right? I mean, and
even if you're dropping.
Okay.
Hard. Yeah. You got nothing here. Here's where all my weight is. Even when you're dropping, you basically don't want to do anything that requires a lot of effort. Feel where my weight is. Change the angle to where I'll easily go through. No. You won't have time for that. Just in your field. Oh, okay.
Where's that? For the center.
That works better, and it takes a lot less effort. Brief story. One of the first master classes, John was doing some multiple attacker stuff on us, and he demonstrated something. When you're one of the multiple attackers going against John, you'll oftentimes feel like kind of slip behind him, and he'll feel like he's getting tons of pressure on you with his hand to just basically launch your body into everyone else. It'll feel like you're getting shot put or something, right? It feels like, you know, like a few people come here, please. All right. Wait, not all. Okay, like if you guys are here, it's like they'll be like over here, and it'll feel like, whoa! It'll feel like a lot of force, like on your shoulder or back. What John actually then had us do, he had someone, here, Josh. Yep. He had a student put their hand in between the guy and John's hands, and the most fucked up thing was felt. John was not really putting any more pressure than like this, than like kind of a solid pat on the back. It felt like a shitload of pressure because he was feeling exactly where your balance was and where you were moving, and basically going along with that, adding almost nothing himself. Yet it felt like a lot because you were getting thrown off balance and you were like that ergo tightening up against it, and it felt very powerful. But in reality, it wasn't that he was getting here and just trying to push as hard as he can to make you move. No, he was getting here, feeling where you were off balance and letting you go right there. Feel the difference? Okay, so likewise, if you're getting this Harukin position, if Josh is nice and rooted here, no amount of drop or whatever else is going to help me. All right? I might be able to do it, but it's not going to be efficient. What I can do is feel exactly where his balance is, and then just use very little effort to go there. Another analogy John made when he was doing contact flow is that he plays something called red light, green light. All right? And this is it's just an image, it's not like what he's actually doing in his head. But it's basically, if he makes contact and there's a lot of force or resistance, that's a red light. Just try to force through the red light, and he'll get a ticket. Okay? Basically, if he feels a red light, he just switches somewhere else. He feels for the green light. Right? Or if he's feeling here, that's a green light. Cool. Boom. Right? But if he feels red light, green light, boom. These are all green lights now. Okay, so please go for the green lights. Good question, huh? Well, what was your original question?
Oh, no, just about, if you're trading, my question was basically, if you're trading punches, my assumption from what you were saying before is that it probably was not the case that you're striking only when it's being given to you, but you're probably both going for it, right?
Probably. I mean, it could be one person, it could be the other, just, it shouldn't really be happening. If you're both moving with your whole body, you might, frankly, if you're both kind of getting hit at the same time and you're both really moving with it, that's fine. But if it's basically one guy's getting hit and just trying to bop the other guy, then that's not good training for me. Okay? In fact, it's really bad training for me because my ego is getting satisfied by whacking the guy and I'm actually learning bad things, thinking that I can hit him while he's freaking penetrating my throat. Doesn't make sense, right? And kind of along these lines, brief notes about dropping and hitting. This might help people related to contact flow. Most people, conventional martial arts, just normal thought process, think of hitting as, here's the rocket ship, here's the launch pad. And I want to launch this rocket as fast as I can away from the launch pad. Sometimes they'll give a little boost to the launch pad to add a little more oomph to the rocket or something. All right. But it's basically this idea, doing external hitting hurts right now because of the term. Basically, that idea that you're sending stuff away from your body, you're sending your limbs away from your body, whatever limb it is, doesn't really work so well in the sense that the only way to get more of that is to increase recruitment of fast twitch muscles and everything else. Even if you're kind of boosting the rocket by moving the launch pad a little more. Okay? What the image that we want to have is that the entire skeleton is the rocket, so to speak. The entire skeleton is what's hitting. So in other words, we have who wants to?
No.
Not all volunteer. Just hold it just against your body like this. Right. Okay. So I'm not trying to. Right. I'm not trying to rocket it like this. Okay. I'm taking my whole skeleton and just moving the whole skeleton through. Whatever the striking surface may be. Okay. It's just the whole skeleton, and if you notice, the actual part that's doing the hitting is very relaxed. Okay, it's basically as flaccid it can be while still being kind of held in the position that I want. Okay, this is even before we talk about the dropper. Thank you. Okay, so basically on the bag, if you notice, every bone in my body. It's not a matter of rooting here and twisting here or whatever. Every bone in my body, to a certain degree, is into it. And if you notice how loose it is, okay? This is all the actual limbs. These are just parts of the skeleton being thrown through the target by the pressure of my feet against the ground. Sound familiar? Okay. Okay? Sometimes it's longer, sometimes it's shorter, whatever. But, what enables that short stuff is simply, it's just the whole skeleton hitting the target, driven by the feet against the ground. The drop comes in a couple ways. First of all, when you drop, you basically, you're using the acceleration force of gravity to, in essence, increase your weight versus what it usually is. And that sensation of falling kind of causes that absolute maximum like fast twitch contraction in your body just for a split second. Don't try to do it consciously. It's just a split second thing. Steam, water, ice, all that stuff. But what it also does is it contains the over travel. Right? There's another way of explaining the drop. Basically, if I were to like do something like literally throwing my entire skeleton into the target, well, if I were to miss, okay, ooh, box. Well, anyway, okay, you get the idea. So obviously that's no good. But if I were to drop at the end of that, that drop is actually containing the over travel of what I was doing. Does this make any sense whatsoever? So the main thing to get from all that is don't think of striking as rocket ships taking off from the launch pad. Think of it as just taking your entire skeleton and just moving into the target. What this means is, just be strong. Okay? So instead of that, I'm allowed to hit you when I'm doing it badly. Okay, so instead of that, I'm taking my entire skeleton and just putting it through him wherever he allows me to. Right? Wherever he's directing my body to go, it's my whole skeleton coming down there. So in other words, I don't want to do this. Even to raise your shoulder. Even to his neck. Are my triceps going to be enough to, he might have a really thick, stiff neck. It might not hurt him much, right? The entire skeleton, and you get a feel for this, this is part of body unity. You start to feel how to use your whole skeleton as one. Whatever he does, even if he's bending way out of position, still counts, right? My whole skeleton is part of everything that happens. And kind of at the end of each motion, or wherever I can, that little drop kind of just enhances everything, enabling you to take what would normally be a long motion and accomplish it in a very short time frame, enabling